A 9-year-old boy watches his entire clan abandon him to die on the Mongolian steppe. His father was just poisoned. His family has nothing. Without protection, they won't survive the winter. 40 years later, that same boy crosses the desert with 100,000 Mongolian warriors, hunting a man who dared to insult him. His name is Genghis Khan. But how does an abandoned child become history's most feared conqueror? It starts the moment he's born, holding a blood clot in his fist. The Mongol steppe in the 12th century doesn't forgive weakness. Tribes raid each other constantly for horses, women, and fertile land. In 1162, Temüjin's born clutching a blood clot in his fist. The shamans say this is a sign they'll be a warrior. His father Yesugei is a minor chieftain of the Borjigin tribe. He's respected, but not powerful. When Temüjin is 9, his father rides to arrange his son's marriage. But on the way back, the Tatars recognize him and offer him food. Yesugei knows it's probably poisoned, but unable to refuse without showing fear, he accepts. He barely makes it home while suffering from excruciating pain and dies in agony, leaving behind a mourning wife and 5 children. The rival Taichut clan then takes power and abandons them. Without Yesugei, they're just mouths to feed. Temüjin's mother, Oelun, grabs their banner and follows them while screaming. A few families look over. They're ashamed but leave them anyway. Oelun keeps them alive by digging for roots, catching fish with her bare hands, and hunting marmots. They struggle but survive for years. Yet tension over resources starts to build as they're barely surviving. Temüjin has an older half-brother named Bektar. During a hunt, they argue over a bird Temüjin shot. It seems like a small thing. But later Temüjin and his full brother Khazar track Bektar to a hillside and shoot him with arrows. Their mother is furious. She'd lost her husband and now a son. Something in Temüjin has shifted. He tasted blood and knew there's no law here except strength. The clan that abandoned them hasn't forgotten Temüjin exists. At 14 years old, Taichut warriors raid their camps looking for him. Temüjin and his brothers mount a desperate defense, but he knows they won't stop, so he surrenders to spare his family. They capture him and lock him in a wooden Cangue, a heavy collar that makes it impossible to lie down or feed yourself. They parade him between camps, making sure everyone knows he's powerless. During a festival, when the clan is drunk, Temüjin slips away. Still wearing the Cangue, he hides in an ice-cold river with only his face above water. But then, a man named Sorkhan finds him. He could take him back. Instead, he frees him and tells him to run. Temüjin steals a horse and disappears into the darkness. He won't forget who helped him, but he also won't forget who left him there to die either. Temüjin starts rebuilding. He finds Jamukha, his childhood friend, and they swear an oath of brotherhood Anda. He marries Borte, the girl his father arranged for him to marry years ago. For a brief moment life feels stable, but it doesn't last. Months later, the Merkits, another rival clan, raid their camp and kidnap his wife. Revenge for something Yesugei did decades earlier. Temüjin calls in every favor he has. He convinces Jamukha and the powerful Togrul Khan to help him. 8 months later, they attack at dawn, slaughter the Merkit warriors, and take Borte back. She's pregnant. No one knows if the child is his. Temüjin accepts him anyway and names him Yoki. Rejecting him would show weakness. Accepting him shows strength. His reputation grows. He promotes men based on ability, not lineage. He divides loot equally, while most tribal leaders hoard wealth for their bloodline. Years later, he tracks down Sorkhan, the man who broke his Cangue and saved his life. Sorkhan expects nothing, but Temüjin makes him a general. Outsiders start flocking to him. Men join because he wins and pays better than anyone else. But success breeds tension, and tribes are choosing sides. Jamukha watches his sworn brother become his rival, and the steppe isn't big enough for both of them. In 1181, the tribes proclaim Temüjin Khan. Jamukha is there. He smiles and congratulates his Anda, but the friendship is over, and both know it. Soon a war breaks out between them that will last for 2 decades. Jamukha wins the battles at first. After one victory, he wants to send a message, so he boils 70 of Temujin's men alive to intimidate the other tribes. But Temüjin learns fast. When he defeats the Tatars tribe that poisoned his father, he orders every male taller than a wagon wheel executed, children included. Entire tribes start defecting to him. Even Jamukha's closest allies switch sides. They join because Temüjin rewards loyalty and punishes betrayal with brutality. By 1206, Temüjin controls almost all the Mongol tribes. Jamukha is alone. He gets betrayed by his last supporters. Temüjin, now the undisputed ruler of the Mongol tribes, is standing in front of Jamukha. They swore brotherhood as boys, hunted together, fought side by side. But the war is over, and Jamukha had lost. Showing mercy would be weakness. Jamukha asks for one thing: to end him without spilling his blood. Temüjin grants it, and not much later, they snap his back. The tribes gather at the Onon River, where they proclaim Temüjin Genghis Khan, the universal ruler of all Khans. He's 44 years old and unified the Mongol plateau for the first time in history, creating a single disciplined war machine of 100,000 mounted warriors who've spent 25 years on the battlefield. But an army that size needs to feed itself, so Genghis Khan starts looking beyond the plateau. To the south lies the Jin Dynasty, one of the richest empires on earth. To the west, the Silk Road cities overflow with gold. The Mongols are about to share their brutality with the rest of the world. Genghis Khan is different than the warlords before him. He creates the Yassa, a law that applies to everyone, including him. Theft, adultery, lying, all have fixed punishments, with no exceptions for nobles. He organizes his army in units of 10, 100, 1,000 and 10,000 men. Promotions go to the capable, not the well-born. He establishes a network of spies and scouts that feeds him intelligence from hundreds of miles away. He enforces absolute religious freedom under Mongol rule. But this isn't kindness, it's strategy. Why make enemies over gods when you can tax everyone equally? In 1211 he turns to China. The Mongols are cavalry specialists with no experience in siege warfare, so they recruit Chinese engineers, build siege weapons, and adapt. When a city surrenders, he's pragmatic about it. When they resist, he makes examples out of them. In northern China, the city of Zhongdu refuses to surrender. The siege lasts a year. When it falls in 1215, the Mongols spend a month looting, killing and destroying. But they don't kill everyone. Genghis Khan lets a few escape, not out of mercy, but so they can spread the story. Then Datong, then Laoyang, then Dexing. One by one, they all fall. Word spread fast. Resist Genghis Khan and your city becomes a graveyard. By 1218, northern China is destroyed. Millions are dead. The Jin Dynasty is collapsing. But Genghis Khan isn't satisfied. To the west lies the richer and more powerful Khwarazmian Empire. And they were about to make the worst mistake of their existence. Genghis Khan sends a trade caravan to the Khwarazmian Empire in Central Asia. The governor of Otrar accuses the merchants of being spies and executes them. So Genghis Khan sends ambassadors demanding justice. But the Khwarazmian Shah has the chief ambassador beheaded and sends the others back with their beards burned off. Soon, Genghis Khan mobilizes 100,000 men and leads them across deserts no army has ever crossed. The Khwarazmians expect him to go to the main passes, but Genghis Khan comes from the north. His forces hit Otrar first. The siege lasts 5 months, and when the city falls, they execute the governor. Then they move to Bukhara, one of the greatest cities in the Islamic world. When they surrender, Genghis Khan addresses the population and tells them their sultan has committed crimes and they are being punished for following him. His men systematically loot the city and take everything valuable. They round up craftsmen to be enslaved, force young men into the army as cannon fodder, while the women are taken captive and enslaved. Anything that's left was burned. Samarkand falls within days. Then Gurganj, the capital. They even destroyed the region's irrigation systems, turning the surrounding farmland into a desert. The Shah flees and later dies alone on an island in the Caspian Sea, with his empire erased. The Khwarazmian campaign killed millions. The region's population won't recover to pre-invasion levels for 700 years. Genghis Khan is now in his 60s. After decades of conquest, you'd think he'd stop and enjoy what he's built. But when the Tanguts in northwestern China insulted him, he launched his final campaign. In 1226, the Tanguts refused to send troops when Genghis Khan demanded them. It's a small insult, but he's built his entire reputation on the principle that defiance has consequences. So at 64 years old, with a worn-out body that survived arrow wounds, broken bones, and countless battles, he goes to war one last time. We don't know exactly what happened during the siege. Some say he fell from his horse. Others say the fever took him. The sources don't agree. But what they do agree on is this. As he's dying inside a field tent, he orders to keep his death secret until the city surrenders, and then take revenge and kill them all. His commanders obey. When the Tanguts open their gates expecting mercy, the Mongols slaughter the entire population. They then take his body back to Mongolia. The funeral procession kills everyone they pass, as they might reveal the route. They bury him in an unmarked grave somewhere in the Cangue mountains. To this day, no one has found his tomb. His sons and grandsons keep expanding his legacy. Korea, Hungary, Siberia, and Southeast Asia. The Mongol Empire becomes the largest contiguous empire on land in history. Hulagu Khan destroys Baghdad in 1258, ending the Islamic Golden Age. Kublai Khan conquers the rest of China and founds the Yuan dynasty. By the time the killing stops, an estimated 20 to 40 million people are dead, roughly 10% of the world's population at the time. The Mongols created trade routes, postal systems, religious tolerance. They broke aristocratic monopolies and connected East and West. But entire civilizations were erased. In Mongolia today, Genghis Khan is on the currency. There are statues, airports named after him, the founder of the nation. In Iran and Central Asia, the invasions remain one of history's greatest catastrophes. Both are true. Studies suggest so many people died that it affected CO2 levels in the atmosphere. Genetic evidence suggests 1 in 200 men alive today carry his DNA. Both claims are still debated. But what isn't debated is that the bloodline didn't spread through romance. It spread through systematic mistreatment of women in every territory they conquered. It was a weapon of war, and Genghis Khan wielded it deliberately. Was he a product of his time? Medieval warfare was brutal everywhere. But even by those standards, tens of millions dead is extreme. What do you think? Was Genghis Khan a traumatized boy who became a monster? And does it matter what systems and innovations survive if millions died to create them? This is the Makers of History.